Yo, what is up? You read the title. Today, I will list 5 features in Valorant that even CSGO players can appreciate. Now, I have been playing Valorant for quite a while now, since its release, on and off. However, I've been playing CS since I was 4 years old. This game is my bread and butter, my blood, my essential, critical, consequential, meaningful, all of those words. However, I've noticed something with the CS community. They hate Valorant. Like, really hate Valorant. They hate it so much that you wouldn't be mistaken into thinking that the developers for the game kicked their grandma down the stairs while eating their dog's ashes.
Most ill opinion incoming, by the way. What? What is little bro waffling about here?
Let's care what's happening. Nice game.
Anyway, without getting too much into the politics, why don't I present the positives of Valorant literally to your face? Without further ado, let's roll. Number 5, skins. Now, I'm going to start off with the more controversial options because that makes the most sense. I want number 1 to be the most agreeable, so take this with a pinch of salt. Skins are a heavily criticized area when it comes to the CS community looking into Valorant.
It's a shisha, a hookah, combined with sex toy. Am I seeing this wrong?
And while they are right with their points they raise, such as Valorant skins not being sellable, costing less, and having no inherent value, I think this viewpoint is just elitist and wrong. The average person doesn't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a knife, and most of the time it doesn't look good. The average person wants to come home from work and play the cool shooter game with their gun that they bought that has a really cool sound and reload animation. 99% of people don't want to learn about floats and shit. They just want to have something that's visually appealing at a much cheaper price. Because, be honest, compare this knife, which you can get for approximately £45 worth of Valorant points, while still having a lot of them left over, so the value is really close to 40. And compare that to the cheapest knife in the Steam market, this Navajo knife or Real Forest, which costs £75, almost doubled the price. And look, there's no comparison at all. The Reaver Karambit wins by a long shot, and if you don't agree, just go to the doctor. I truly believe the cheapest thing on the level of the Reaver Karambit is probably a low tier CS Karambit. Because yes, the Reaver Karambit is still a Karambit, but the Valorant one's a bit smaller and the animation's a little bit worse in my opinion. But even then, the cheapest Karambit on the Steam market is nearly £500. That's an RTX 3070. That's a Ford Mondeo. Overall, while skins in CS are much more interesting and in-depth, that's not what cosmetics have to be about. Number 4, maps and map choices. This is another controversial one, but first of all, the maps in Valorant are just good. There's no debate about that. Ascent, Split, Fracture, Haven, Icebox, all great maps. However, I will concede that every other map is either okay or trash. There is another thing I want to talk to you about though, and that's the way the maps are selected. Now, as you know, in CS, you can pick any map from the map pool and you can choose to queue for as many maps as you want. If you want to solo queue Inferno, you can, but you're a massive degenerate and I hate your guts. Meanwhile, Valorant's system is that you can't pick maps at all. They're all random. Now, while that may seem absolutely awful from a CS player's perspective,
so you always queue all the maps? 9.
This has its upsides. The idea that you can't just solo queue a map to the top rank and pretend to be good is completely removed. And I find myself overcoming roadblocks in my head that come with playing bad maps. And along with this, I find myself being a more useful player, being able to understand and acclimatize with new environments instead of just queuing nuke every game. I can actually find scenarios where I'm learning new things about a map and in turn, I am playing longer.
Блядь, сука, да ёб твою, ты заебал меня, блядь, конченый кусок говна тупого, блядь, шведская жирная, блядь, 150-килограммовая хуйня, сука, сдохни, блядь, эта семья сдохнет, блядь, за это мне выиграть эту ёбаную игру, блядь, сука, ты конченая, блядь, я твою просто мать, блядь, зарежу, конченый, ты кусок гниды ебаный, блядь, ЧСВшная, сука, выблядская хуйня.
Number 3, community and attitude. Now, as I said, I play both games, and I play in the EU. I'm not in any pussy NA lobbies. I'm queuing Frankfurt, Paris, London, all of that. And I tend to find on average, a Valorant game is so much more happier than a CS game. By a long shot. This may come down to the fact that Valorant has a better server selector and I can actually force myself to be in games where I speak the same language as everyone on my team. But it also comes down to the fact that I brought up earlier, that a lot of Valorant players have jobs, lives, kids, families, and just tend to be a lot nicer for it. This is completely in contrast to the unemployed CS nature of training and wanting to be the absolute best. The culture around Valorant and the overall attitude is that it's a fun game that can be played competitively. Now obviously, this is not always the case. I come across a few toxic French people every so often.
If you don't throw the smoke, we're all gonna die, right? Do you hear that? Do you hear that? You understand?
No,
If we have to clear 7 angles, you fucking fat fuck!
However, I find it a lot more wholesome and I find much more nicer experiences in Valorant than CSGO.
That was a good round, guys. Well done.
I don't remember the last time I played CSGO and someone didn't scream some sort of slur down the microphone. Further evidence I found to support this is that I found a lot more women in Valorant. Like, actually speaking with their microphone.
Nice. Well played.
I feel like the game just seems a lot safer than CS to play than other games. And by the way, even though I'm saying this, I'm not discrediting the sexism that is in Valorant. It's just that the sexism in CS is so much worse that I don't even get the chance to experience it anymore because they never play again. I think it's been over 5 years since I last heard a woman speak in Counter-Strike. And I can't wait for Ownerpixel to react to this one day and go, "Was? Oh, well, I don't agree, I get nice people!" As if he's not a highly respected millionaire streamer that people cream over when they meet him when he plays the video game actually like 3 times every decade. 2. Mainstream audience.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
What I mean about mainstream audience is that I tend to see a lot more mainstream, normal, sociable people play the game. I don't have much to talk about here, except for the fact that other than like Neymar, not many famous people play CS. A lot more celebrities play Valorant, and it appeals to a wider audience than CSGO, probably because of its dominance in NA. Do you care that much? Probably not. Should you have already known this? Probably. If you didn't, are you a brain-dead individual? Yes.
This is gonna be so nice. Dude, I'm gonna fucking climb the ranks.
No one cares!
Thank you so much. I know.
Number 1. MMR and other practical elements. Now the last thing and the most appreciable thing about Valorant that even CSGO players could appreciate is the MMR system and all other systems in the game. The MMR system, working in a way that you actually know how far away you are from your rank up games and D-rank games, rather than dealing with CSGO's lucky dip of MMR system. I mean, just watch Anomaly's video on ranking up to global in all game modes, it's absolute bullshit. A common point people have against this is that it would make the game less interesting until the rank up or D-rank game. But then they'll play Face It and praise its matchmaking even though it executes the exact same mechanic. Next is the 128 tick servers. What more can I say? Official 128 tick servers for all game modes. The anti-cheat is impeccable too. Now you can say whatever you want about Chinese spyware and all, but if Valve, an arguably even shadier company, told you to install an anti-cheat that is invasive, or even worse, a third-party software told you to do that, you would lap it up in an instant. Valorant's anti-cheat is sublime, and I have come across one cheater in my life on really low elo, late at night, in unranked, and I have never come across any cheaters in any competitive games. Not only does this increase integrity in the game, but also puts me in a better place knowing that, hey, sometimes the opponent is just having a really good day. Now, there are a couple of smaller features that are better, like an actual tutorial, built-in practice modes, the game actually being free and not locking the good features behind a paywall. The HUD could be argued to be better as well. Along with this, Riot Games is much more invested into their esports than Valve. The streamers are more entertaining. I mean, come on, half the streamers on CS are pro players who don't read chat at all, sitting on 300 viewers playing Dust 2 for the 30th time that day. But that's about all I can think of. Thank you for listening to 5 things about Valorant that even CSGO players could appreciate. Let me know if you want another one. It's been me, Blake Ryan. Make sure to like and subscribe, and most importantly, don't forget to stay frosty.
Internet personas we hide behind. We all got demons deep inside us. We try to hide.